Hey guys, welcome back to Chronic Pillness. This is a new podcast that we are getting to the root of disease. And by disease, I'm talking about not just acute illnesses, I'm talking about chronic illnesses, mental illnesses, and addiction. I am really happy to bring Manny back on. Well, kind of, it's bittersweet. It's great to have Manny back on, but this is Manny's, I guess, come across some new information on his health and stuff that he wants to share with the world. And then also I know intimately the details of the homeless issues here in Austin, Texas, and some in New Mexico, as well as the addiction issues. And so after we talk about Manny's updated health report and what he's found out, I'd like to transition and talk a little bit about the homeless epidemic in America and the addiction epidemic in America. But Manny, it's great to see you again, my man. And you know, tell me what's been going on since we
Okay.
talked last.
Yeah, thanks for having me again. Excuse me for the third time. I might be a little hoarse or whatnot, but that's basic. My hoarseness have something to do while I'm back here on the show. But I want to tell you and tell everyone that you are absolutely correct. The your website with the not that kind of crazy.com
Yep.
is 100% correct. And if everybody should go on there and check it out. Because okay, so everybody know my story. I coughed up the parasite and whatnot, and the whole fiasco about me going to the hospital. They telling me I had sarcoidosis and that my liver was inflamed. Okay, so uh, I met a guy. He became a buddy of mine, and I was telling him my story. And he said, "Hey man, why won't you holler at this doctor?" I said, this doctor, he said, yeah, he does acupuncture, he does holistic healing and stuff like that. And he said maybe he can help you like he helped me. I said, okay, cool. So he gave me the number. He said, but good luck getting in to his office because he'd be so backed up. So I kept texting him and then texting him and texting him. And apparently this doctor only take patients that know other people that he already done treated. So long story short, I dropped the guy name and then he responded. He said, "How could I help you with? I mean, what could I help you with?"
Mhm.
I said, well, I coughed up this worm and I had sarcoidosis." And then he said, wait a minute, let me stop you there. And he sent me a picture. And he said,
Mhm.
was it this worm right here? And I said, yes, the same worm that I coughed up. He said, okay, cool. So he's like, I'm gonna have to try to figure out how I can fit you in. So maybe 2 weeks passed by, and I told him some crazy story like, man, I feel like giving up on life. And so he's like, well, I'm gonna just squeeze you in on somebody that didn't show up. Long story short, I guess there I'm a little nervous. It's like a hitting in plain sight type of office. And when I get in there, I see a whole bunch of people in there, old people, young people. And when this guy come out of the office, the look on people's faces, they like it was like they saw their father that they didn't see since they were born. You know what I mean? Like they was just like he was some kind of god or something. So after he greeted me, whatever, he went back, took a patient in the office. So I asked this lady, I said, is he a good doctor? She said, I was supposed to have been dead 26 years ago. She said, I'm still breathing. And she said, you see my mother there? My mother's 80 something years old, and it's the only doctor she see. And everybody just like, yes, he's great, he's great. So I goes into the office when it's my time to go in there. I gets in there and he got these all these machines and stuff, and he got these little glass test tubes. And what's that doctor lady name? Uh, you know the holistic doctor, and her name
Oh, oh,
Huda Clark.
Huda Clark. Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
yeah,
Huda
yeah,
Clark.
yeah,
I
yeah,
seen some of the stuff that she had in there
yeah.
as well. Okay, so here's the deal. So he
Hmm.
said, we're gonna find out. He asked me what was going on with me. I explained. He said, we're gonna find out. Now I didn't tell him much of nothing other than that I've been fatigued and I had coughed up that worm, whatever.
Hmm.
So he started running the test. After he running the test, I looked. Now this is where you come into play. The
Hmm.
little vials that he had, it had every major disease. I seen one with breast cancer, pancreatic cancer, and I seen one with HIV, etc.
Hmm.
Even all kinds of STDs and stuff, whatever. But when he looked away, I grabbed one of the glasses and turned it around, and I seen a name of a parasite on the glass. So
Hmm.
basically, every major disease had a parasite linked to it.
Yeah, of
It was
course.
on the glass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he had caught me putting the glass back, and I said, that's crazy. He said, I said, every disease on here has a parasite on the same glass. And he's like, because it's the same. So anyway,
Yep.
he run the test and come to find out I have uh flukes in my lungs,
Hmm.
flukes in my liver, and I
Hmm.
have roundworms in my intestines, and I also have them in my gallbladder.
Hmm.
And he's like, don't worry about it. We're gonna get you cured up and stuff like that. And he also said that I had MRSA. If you
MRSA.
some
Yeah.
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 And I asked him where that come from. He said it could have came from touching something, or
Hmm.
he's like, when we go to the market, people think because they pick food and fruits from the back that people don't touch those. But he's like, parasites can jump from one fruit to the next fruit to the next fruit, and you never know, people scratching their private areas and touching all over the stuff. You never know what you're going to get into when you go inside the market.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you was 1,000,000% correct. But he prescribed me some stuff, whatever, and I'm waiting for it to come in the mail. It should come today. And yeah, and he said
Is he prescribing pharmaceuticals or
no, no,
supplements?
no, no. This is all natural.
Okay.
All
Okay.
natural.
Good. Good.
Uh he also told me, because I smoke cigarettes.
Hmm.
He said, after we cure you from this, then you come back. He opened up this book, and it was a book, a list of herbs and stuff like that, right? And
Hmm.
he was like, don't worry about no die-off symptoms. He said, because the testing I did, the stuff that I prescribed you, it's just going to kill the parasites. You're going to expel them, but it won't be no die-off symptoms. And he also said he going to cure me from cigarette addiction.
Well, yeah. I mean, if when you expel the parasites from your lungs, you'll never have the desire. You won't have that. Your body won't be saying, "I need this anti-parasitic nicotine in my lungs." Now,
Yeah, yeah,
that's the whole paradox about smoking is that people have been intentionally infected with
yeah,
infections that impact the lungs, and
yeah,
then nicotine is a natural anti-parasitic drug. So obviously, if you have a parasitic infection in your lungs, our medical system denies,
yeah.
and you smoke and you're combating it's, but then the system loves to blame the smoker rather
Yes,
than the system that's denying the infections.
yeah,
And it's just
absolutely.
like our entire medical system is completely evil.
Absolutely, and he also showed me some stuff in a book. I couldn't pronounce the name of this herb if I wanted to, but
Hmm.
it's a concoction of herbs that he can give you to take. And you know how people have heroin withdrawals and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can take that, and as soon as you take it, the withdrawals are gone instantly.
Yeah.
Only thing you will still have is the runny nose and the diarrhea, and that's because you're expelling it out of your body. But there won't be no restless leg syndrome, no pain, no insomnia, none of that.
Yeah.
You'll just be snotting
Yeah.
and pooping.
Well, yeah, we all need to deworm a couple times a year. It
Yeah,
just like what was done in the 40s and 50s in this country, and then we allegedly got rid of parasites, and now everybody's sick
yeah.
because
You
we're
know
not
what?
deworming anymore.
And listen, he worked for one of the big hospitals in my state, right? And
Hmm.
he told me this is the whole reason why they tricked us to believe that parasites are gone. Is that because we have a cold winter here, that the cold winter kills off the parasites. And I know he's not lying when he said that, because they said the same thing about fish. If you take the fish and you freeze it, then you kill off the
Well,
parasites.
freezing it doesn't kill the eggs
It
though.
doesn't.
It doesn't kill the parasite eggs.
It doesn't.
And so that's yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but he said that's the philosophy, that's the philosophy, or whatever you want to call it, narrative that they push, and
Right.
that's how everybody got duped into believing that we did away with parasites
Well,
because of the
well,
cold weather.
yeah. Well, the cold. There are parasites parasites are not a tropical limited to a tropical climates. Okay,
Yeah,
they've been a problem in cold climates forever.
yeah,
They are responsible for disease and modern medicine has taken a lot of credit for modern plumbing. Okay,
yeah,
it's through the control of our fecal matter and sanitation measures
yeah,
that really uh, helped control the spread of disease and parasites in particular. That modern medicine took the credit for through vaccines and all these other things, and it's
yeah.
just, we never eradicated parasites. We never eliminated them, but
Nope.
it's much more nefarious than what he's saying. That
Yeah.
they're growing. They're harvesting these
Oh yeah.
parasites
Yeah.
in
Yeah. Yeah.
labs and then free living, visually elusive worms, both flatworms and roundworms. And many of us are being infected in our sleep.
Yeah.
But with these lab grown parasites.
Yeah.
And then we get sick, we're tired, we're depressed, we're anxious. We
Yeah.
have diabetes or we're overweight, we're smoking, and then the system blames us for having these issues. You know,
Absolutely.
and
And he,
it's just mind blowing. And then they never identify the parasitic infection. Instead, they kind of mask the symptoms like Adderall for fatigue or it's
yeah.
just crazy. It's
Yeah.
insane. The entire medical system is corrupt.
Right. And he did excuse me, he did make mention of them purposely putting parasites in the food and then also inside the water. He
Yeah.
did said that. I did hear him say that. But yeah, oh, trust and believe me, I believe you because
And yeah, go ahead.
I believe you because when I looked at them glass vials
Yeah.
and it had pancreatic cancer, and then I turned the glass around and it
Hmm.
had perigamus on it. I
Right.
said, well, that's a parasite.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And so then I start seeing them when he moving them around. I said, well, it's the same thing. So what Mr. Greg was saying was the truth the whole time.
Every
And plus all the research I
there's
did.
not a piece of fluff on my website. Everything in there is it changes everything. It changes
Yeah,
everything. Our entire this goes far beyond a medical fraud.
yeah,
This is a multi-trillion dollar a year. The medical fraud is a multi-trillion dollar a year grift globally.
yeah,
But everything else, all the wars, everything's orchestrated and all of it's interconnected. And the devil is
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
who else would intentionally make people sick, deny the infections, then blame the sick people for being sick, other than the devil? You know,
Exactly. And then
it, it's
and then make you and then treat the symptoms just to make you
and
comfortable in
then
your suffering.
profit off of the treatments that aren't helping you, and they actually make you sicker.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
it's
Yeah.
like, my God,
Oh yeah,
it
and then they also get paid by sending you to the shrink. And
yeah,
when you
yeah, oh
ask too many
yeah,
questions,
oh yeah. And yeah, if you don't fit like their medical narrative, then they say, oh, it's mental illness, and they
yeah,
send you to
exactly.
yeah. The whole system's corrupt. It's
Yeah,
insane.
yeah, and it's crazy. You should have millions of subscribers. If nobody don't go check, even if nobody
I
don't
should
even
have.
check,
I'm not saying this out of ego, but what I'm
yeah,
saying, I should have 1 billion subscribers. Like
yeah,
this impacts everybody
everybody.
in society
Yeah,
globally.
and, and,
Um,
and that and that chronic pillness, your platform chronic pillness, the website.
Yeah.
Everybody need to go check
Yeah,
that out
not that kind of
now.
crazy. The
Yeah,
podcast is Chronic Pillness. The
yeah,
website's
chronic
not that kind
illness.
of
Yeah,
crazy.
the website not
But
that kind of.
I own the domain chronicpillness.com too. I just haven't
Yeah,
put anything up on it yet. But
yeah.
I'm gonna, yeah, that's in the works.
Yeah, but that's the first thing that popped in my head when I started looking at them test tubes. I said, "Oh my gosh, yeah, they're not crazy.com." That's what it blew my mind. I'm like, this is crazy. And plus the research that I've been doing over the years too. I'm like, and when I saw your website, it kind of stamped, but I was
Hmm.
already assuming because
Hmm.
of the sarcoidosis. I'm like, hell no. Once they told me I had that and my liver was inflamed, I'm like, I'm not accepting this. I
No,
refuse to be a victim.
no,
I
no.
got
And
to figure something else out.
I don't know how many stories I've heard where the medical community's told people that they don't have much longer to live, and they're like, "Fuck that," whatever, and
Yeah,
they get right. They
yeah,
pray up. They start exercising and eating better, and boom, they prove
yeah,
the medical community wrong every time.
yeah,
Not
exactly.
every time, but most,
Yeah,
it's just once we become aware of what the problems really are, and that we can take control ourselves,
yeah. They,
it's all these diseases vanish. If
yeah,
and the Food and Beverage Administration is just as guilty as everybody else in all
oh,
this.
oh,
How they've
absolutely.
made everything sugar heavy, high fructose corn syrup, and carb heavy. Well, that's all parasite food.
Yeah,
It,
exactly.
it's
Yeah,
like, and
yeah,
then wait, a pork heavy diet. I'm living at the sober home right now.
yeah,
These guys are pork chop crazy. And I'm just like,
yeah,
don't eat that, guys. But I can't tell
yeah,
them that because they're just not
yeah.
aware of all this yet. But
Yeah,
the pork is just loaded with parasites,
absolutely.
you
They are
know?
low. The pork got probably just about more parasites, probably more parasites than the beef.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah, way more, way more.
yeah, yeah,
This is
exactly.
why Jesus casts the demons into swine,
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
this is why every almost so many world religions tell you not to eat pork.
And you,
And I truly believe that eating pork is anti-Christian as well, but that
yeah,
narrative got twisted over the
yeah, yeah.
millennia, you
But you
know?
know what else that he said too that confirmed something that you said when he was telling me about about how parasites do, right? He said that parasites like hot, sticky, and moist environments, right?
Yeah.
And
Well,
he said
yeah, for
not
the
only
most
that,
part.
they like darkness.
They do like
So
darkness. They
yeah,
love
so that brought me
darkness.
back to what you were saying about the light and the darkness.
Yeah, yeah,
You get what I'm saying?
yeah.
So he was saying that. So say somebody have like real bad. He showed me a picture of a lady had real bad head infection where she was losing her hair and stuff. But she
Hmm.
kept putting wigs on her head, and the more she kept putting the wigs on her head and not letting the sun get to it, which is light,
Yeah, which is worse. Yeah, it makes
yeah,
things worse.
it
Yeah,
makes
yeah,
it worse by she keep covering it up. But
yeah,
the embarrassment of her not having hair, it outweighs.
yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying, and
Yeah,
that's been part of the plan too, is to disconnect us from natural sunlight. Okay, so we got the chemtrails with boron, aluminum, and all these other metals that reflect the sunlight, so we're not getting as much sun exposure. Then we're
yeah,
indoors all the times under fluorescent lights, LED lights, these blue lights that are
yeah,
toxic to us, rather
yeah,
than the natural red lights that are healing. And it's just everything. They're hitting us from all angles, man. Be it the light,
absolutely.
the food, the intentional parasitosis. Then we're getting hit by 5G and radio freak waves and Bluetooth and like all these hidden things. We're just like bam, 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 bam.
Yeah,
Food dies. Like the list goes on and
right.
on.
You know something else I believe, and
Yeah,
this is my personal opinion. I don't know if it's a fact, but during the time with the COVID, right? You
yeah,
know how they was putting people on the ventilators.
yeah.
This all the time when fentanyl started hitting real heavy.
Yeah,
I believe that they was shooting people up with fentanyl because I heard stories of people going in the room and like for instance with my daughter, right? my daughter, she had RSV,
Hmm.
respiratory infection and virus or whatever.
Right.
She was just talking, right?
Yeah.
She was just talking. We left out of the room and came back 10 minutes later. She was knocked out like a light. Her
Yeah.
lights was out.
Yeah.
Like, hold on, how the hell did she go to sleep like
Yeah.
that? That quick.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, was they shooting them up with fentanyl?
Yeah.
You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And
Oh
then
no,
started.
I know what you're saying. No, the entire medical system's
Yeah,
corrupt. There were so many lives lost in COVID that shouldn't have been lost.
yeah,
If they had properly treated people and properly but no, the ventilators killed people,
yeah,
and the fact that the treatments like fentanyl and all these other things killed people.
yeah.
That
And then,
they, it's just wild because it's there. Okay, the entire opioid crisis has been manufactured, just like the crack epidemic was
yeah,
manufactured. So, I was there to witness it firsthand. Okay, so. We go back to the Sackler family and how they pushed Oxycontin on everybody and told all these doctors that it's not addictive like all these other opiates. It's
yeah,
completely crazy. It's extremely addictive.
yeah,
It's just as bad as heroin,
yeah,
and so, but what also was skyrocketed at that time, chronic pain conditions. All right.
yeah.
Fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, all these pain conditions that are all due to parasites. It was
Absolutely.
intentional infections. So Percocets, Oxycontin, all these opioids were mass prescribed by intentional infections that were
Yeah.
parasitic. But if they had treated the parasitic condition, there would have been no need for the opioids. Okay.
Exactly.
And so all these people got hooked on opiates, Oxycontin and all these others.
Yeah.
And then they stopped mass prescribing all these opiates. And then fentanyl was introduced flooded onto the streets in pill form in the shape of Oxycontin pills.
Yeah.
Because
It's-
and so all these people became addicted to street fentanyl. And
yeah. And I
it's
believe,
just it's
you know
so
what I
evil.
believe? I believe that the medical system, right, put the fentanyl lace pills out there so they can take away so they can take away the original heroin. You get
Well,
what I'm saying?
no,
It's like
I can tell you, I was around heroin addicts at the time when it was transitioned. And so I was hanging out in Santa Fe, New Mexico with people who have been addicted to heroin for years, either smoking it or shooting it up.
yeah,
Before or right around the start of the pandemic, must have been 2020, right?
yeah,
That um people were smoking heroin.
yeah,
You put it on a piece of foil and you put a
yeah. Aluminum
lighter
foil.
underneath it
Yeah,
and smoke it, right?
yeah,
So smoking one head of heroin should never cause an overdose.
yeah,
People were dropping like flies from that because it was no longer heroin. It was now being cut with fentanyl.
yeah. But you know
Okay,
why?
no, let me finish.
Good.
I know why. Let me explain.
Uh,
So what they were doing is that they were getting people off of heroin onto fentanyl, and they were removing heroin from the street supply and replacing it with fentanyl. And so they were transitioning everybody to get addicted to the 50 times stronger drug in fentanyl over heroin.
mm-hmm.
And where instead in heroin you get dope sick once a day. Now with on fentanyl, these people are dope sick 4 times a day. The overdose rates are just through the roof and all these other things. And so the system, this was all coordinated years before to replace heroin with fentanyl that's far stronger, far more lethal, far more like crippling to a person's life. It's just like it's just unbelievable.
Yeah,
Now they introduced fentanyl not in something that looks like heroin, but something that looks like a prescription pill.
mm-hmm.
Because all these people who are like, I will never do heroin, all these people who became addicted to OxyContin and Percocet and stuff, said, I
Yeah,
will never do heroin. We're like, well, I'll do something that looks like my OxyContin pill.
yeah,
And so everybody started doing getting hooked then on they went to street fentanyl.
Yeah.
And it's just this was all coordinated.
Yeah, so pretty much in a nutshell, we basically saying the same thing. They wanted to get just like what they did with the food. They got rid of all the seed bearing fruits and stuff like
Yeah.
that and for
Yeah.
the GMOs.
Yeah.
So they replaced organic heroin from the poppy plant with
Hmm.
synthetics. They taking
Yeah.
everything, just like the weed,
Yeah.
no seeds in it.
Yeah.
They replacing everything that's real with
Yeah.
synthetics.
And
Yeah,
and you
pretty
know what
much.
seeds are? Seeds have natural anti-parasitic qualities, man. And
Absolutely.
then that's so they want to get rid of the seeds as a convenience. But it's
Yeah.
not a convenience, it's hurting us. So the seeds
Yeah.
are help the seeds are beneficial for us because they
Absolutely.
have a tremendous clinical properties,
Exactly.
you
Yep.
know.
But with them getting rid of all the natural things and bringing in the synthetics, it also make it easier for a person to go out in the streets and they do the fentanyl for a while. After they have about 100 damn overdoses, then they get
Hmm.
scared and they go to the Suboxone clinic or the
Yeah. Oh, well,
methadone
and
place.
that's just it. They now once you have an opiate addict, it's nearly an impossible addiction to break, given our current treatments.
Yeah.
Although we'll have new treatments, but it's almost an impossible. So now you have a subscriber for life, be it methadone or Suboxone.
Yeah.
And so now the pharmaceuticals are God knows how much money they make off of Suboxone and methadone every year, but it's got to be in the hundreds of millions.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's just like, and all this has been coordinated. All this has been intentional. Where I believe, well, I know, ibogaine is shown tremendous, which is a hallucinogen, a natural hallucinogen.
Yeah.
You do one treatment of ibogaine,
Yeah.
and it's showing a 70% success rate for heroin addiction. And this is just a one-time 24-hour thing. And a second follow-up treatment has like a 97% success rate in treating heroin addiction. No Suboxone, no
Yeah.
methadone. You're freedom. You're back to being healthy and free.
Yeah.
But of course, well, the system doesn't profit off that. The system profits off of us being sick and addicted and dependent on the system.
Right. And you know what? You know what's crazy? It makes me sit back and wonder how long have I had these flukes in my lungs and
Oh,
my liver?
forever, dude.
I probably could have had it since I was a kid because when I was a kid I had asthma.
Absolutely, man.
Y- y-
All these diseases are
Yeah.
almost all of them are parasitic or fungal. All these
Yeah.
chronic ones,
Yeah.
and no, man. It's and I feel like I've had intentional parasitic infections my entire life.
Yeah.
But the Black American community has been intentionally infected with parasites forever, dude. And
Yeah.
I've proven that scientifically and medically with my stuff at
Yeah,
UCL.
my grandmother that passed away years ago, right? She
Yeah,
was in our 90s.
yeah,
Once I told my family, hey, I got MRSA,
yeah,
whatever, they said, well, our grandmother, when she died, she had MRSA.
yeah.
So I'm like, damn, I
No,
could have
no.
got it from her.
Yeah,
See, my
well,
mother,
I had MRSA in 2022 or something like that. I had upper respiratory MRSA infection.
yeah,
That the medical community did not want to diagnose. I
yeah,
had to I had to barter and negotiate and fight in order to get my sputum tested to get it diagnosed.
yeah,
Only thanks by the blessings of God that this got diagnosed and it got treated. But the
yeah.
medical system wanted to kill me. It wanted to take me out.
Oh, I believe it.
Yeah. They made multiple attempts on my life, but
Yeah.
by the grace of God, here both of us are today, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Because, and I believe you that they try to kill you. You get what I'm saying? Because the same thing with me when they told me I had the sarcoidosis and inflamed liver. The parasite doctor I just went to, he told me that I got flukes embedded in my liver. He
Yeah.
said, but don't worry. He said the liver will heal itself within time.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, but
All of our body will heal
yeah,
in time. It takes the human body is incredible at healing itself when we stop poisoning in it and
yeah,
we deal with the infections that our medical diagnostics deny
yeah,
or that doctors aren't even considering. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
99% of doctors with a Western medical training and degrees
Yeah,
aren't even going to consider parasites when parasites are the cause of almost all disease.
yeah,
It's
absolutely.
like they're so entrenched and indoctrinated, and they just won't allow their worldview to be shaken. You know, they've fully bought into the Rockefeller Rothschild programming
Yeah,
that yeah, that
yeah,
autoimmune disorders are somebody's immune system attacking itself for no reason because, well, we just don't have that many pathogens today. That's
yeah.
fucking insane.
Hey, it don't
Like,
even
no,
make sense.
autoimmune disorders are results from parasitic infections.
Oh, yep. It just like was the when on the glass test tube I saw the for the HIV one, right?
Yeah.
I can't pronounce this word, but it's not fasciola hepatica, but fasciolapis buski or something like that, right? That's the
Well,
flat worm. Okay, well that worm attacks the intestines, right? Which
mhm.
most of your immune system is made up in there, right?
Yeah.
And then the rest it attacked the thymus gland. Those two together,
Hmm.
where they attacking both of those organs, the thymus
Yeah.
gland, I mean the thymus gland and stomach. That's how people has gets HIV.
Yeah. Well,
That
yeah,
right there, because that's
and
where most of your immune system made up in both of those.
yeah, and HIV was a bioengineered virus
Yeah,
to take out a certain population,
yeah,
and it's so evil. This was done by Fauci and our government and
yeah,
all of his backers and the elite of the world.
yeah,
And it's part of this eugenics or whatever movement it is. It's just they're all insane.
yeah.
Our entire system's insane.
Yeah, absolutely. But you're right. They purpose that was bioengineered a parasite
Yeah, yeah,
bioengineered parasite.
yeah. Using CRISPR technology and whatnot, to
Yeah,
target certain and then like infect one population and then let it spread naturally from there.
yeah,
Intentionally infect one population and then let it spread. Like what's his name from NWA who died from AIDS or whatever.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Easy E.
Easy E, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guarantee you, he was intentionally infected.
Oh,
I
absolutely. They talk
guarantee it,
about that all the
guarantee it,
time.
guarantee it, guarantee it.
You gotta go see a guy out there that used to be and you gotta watch him on YouTube. His name OG Frost,
Uh-huh.
right? OG Frost was one of Easy E artists, right?
Yeah.
He said, man, a matter of fact, when I see the link, when I find the link, I'm gonna send it to you. He's like, man, nobody can tell me about Easy E. I was one of the closest guys there to him. He's like, Easy E was walking, breathing,
Mm-hmm.
talking. He said
Mm-hmm.
he might only cough one time. And he said, then boom, next thing you know, he got
Boom.
full blown
Yeah.
AIDS and
Yeah.
then died the next week.
Yeah.
He said, man,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. He said that shit was done intentionally.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And
Yeah,
and that's what my website shows is that all these
yeah,
infections are intentional and directed.
yeah,
And that medicine has been weaponized.
absolutely.
It would be one thing if Western medicine was just denying the infection, the parasitic infections and treating the symptoms. But
Yeah,
no, it's been weaponized where they're attacking specific people and populations. If
yeah,
you say something outside of the narrative, if you are a threat to the system, they'll
yeah.
make you sick,
Oh
like
yeah.
deadly sick.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. And
No.
like you said, don't think. Who do you think you are to try to even question them?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
If you question them, man,
yeah,
and that's why my life has been so difficult for the past few years,
yeah,
man. This is
yeah,
why I ended up on the streets and why I've
yeah,
been like,
yeah, yeah. Oh, don't question old Doc. They knows best.
oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
as if,
yeah. It's
as if.
like,
And the crazy part about it is this: you can know something is wrong with you, but then they sit back and tell you that it's not nothing wrong with you, which is insane, right?
oh yeah,
But then
or they're gonna say it's psychiatric, and
exactly.
then I can't. Oh, you're crazy,
But they play this. But this is common sense that they play this game on everybody. Like with if you ever seen the George Floyd
Hmm.
situation when
Hmm.
they choked
Yeah, yeah,
choked them with the knee in the neck.
yeah, yeah.
They told us after we saw it on TV. They
Hmm.
told us he died from COVID,
Right. Yeah. No.
as if we didn't
No.
see that.
No. no,
And that's the
no,
same
no,
thing with the
no,
medical
no,
system.
no.
They'll turn around, you'll say, "Oh, I just don't feel right." They say, "Oh no, it's all in your
Well,
mind."
the thing is almost all the cops are Freemasons, and the Freemasons are the soldiers of Satan. They do the elite's bidding for whatever. So they're it's just the
It's
entire system is corrupt. The entire
that's
system needs to be flushed out. We need new leadership. We
yes,
need people with true integrity that aren't, it's just
yeah. And people,
it's
people just so blind they believe if you vote Democrat or you vote Republican, it's going to make a difference. None of it's going to
No,
make a difference.
no,
The
they're
same
both
thing.
pushing the same agenda, which is total
Absolutely.
government control.
Uh-huh.
We are in the midst of a global population agenda where the West is getting hit the hardest right now, with the
Yes.
United States getting hit the hardest right now. We allegedly have the best medical system in the world in the United States. We spend more money on medicine than any other country in the world, yet we are the sickest country in the world. Like,
Uh-huh.
how's that happen? And
Exactly.
it's just it's all orchestrated,
Yep. And they just
and it's like, yeah, it's so evil, man,
Yep,
so
and they just
evil.
put that hit on that guy El Muncho out there in
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Mexico. You
yeah,
know why they did that? Because he tampering with their money, and that's one thing they can't stand is a drug dealer because drug dealers don't pay taxes.
yeah. Well, the whole. The deep state's in cahoots with the cartels,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah, well, yeah,
and they're working together. And they're
yeah.
working.
But here's the thing, though.
They help the deep state help create the fentanyl crisis, just like they
Yeah,
created the crack epidemic.
but this is my thing, right? I know they involved, but here's the thing, right? Say me and you selling drugs, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and this for hot pop, whatever.
right,
Okay, man, you selling drugs.
right,
Okay, say you the cartel leader, right?
right,
And I'm the president. So
right,
what I do is we pushing and selling the drugs together, right?
right.
But I'm over here, so I don't know how you make it and what you put into it. And as we do business for about 20, 30 years, and then I said, you know what? Let me just go over there, send somebody to murder him, and just take over all of it. You get what I'm saying? The whole
Well, yeah,
operation.
it's they can take out anybody who goes sort of like isn't pushing the story that they want pushed, or
Yeah,
isn't selling the drugs that they want at the right populations. Like, it's
yeah,
just. I mean, the Mexican cartels cannot sell fentanyl in Mexico. They,
yeah.
they they are under strict orders not to sell that shit in Mexico.
Yeah,
But man, they are just flooding it into the United States,
but it's getting here for
Yeah.
some kind of way, and that's because the government is allowing it.
The government is allowing it. The
Yeah,
government's orchestrated it. And fentanyl's changed everything. I saw the shift from heroin to fentanyl. Boom,
yeah,
man. I was just like, this changes everything. Everything.
yeah. And then every now and then they got to kill one of them to make it look good, you know?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Everything's a song and dance,
yeah,
and to look like, like the whole premise that we're going into Venezuela to stop the drug trafficking was just insane. It's all about oil.
yeah,
It's not, and it's about having a CIA deep state friendly leadership in Venezuela rather than somebody that opposes the international banking cartel,
yeah,
and it's just. Almost no cocaine comes from Venezuela. It comes from Colombia, Peru,
yeah,
Ecuador, and then no fentanyl is coming from Venezuela to the United States. That's just all coming from China via
yeah, yeah,
Mexico.
yeah, yeah,
China and India are making the precursors of fentanyl. Then
yeah,
that gets dropped off in Mexico, and then the fentanyl gets made in Mexico, and then it all gets flooded into the United States.
yeah.
Venezuela is nowhere near Mexico. Well, it's pretty far from Mexico.
Yeah, I get what you're
It's
saying.
like
Even though it's in South America, it's still pretty far.
it's really far. It's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
far. Yeah, it's like, yeah, yeah. I don't know the relative distance it is from the Yukon Peninsula to Venezuela, but it's a hike.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly. Yeah.
there's a lot of water separating the two. You know,
Yep.
it's it's just everything's just a joke. And what's going on? I'm about to do my own private podcast on what's going on in the Middle East with Iran and Afghanistan and Pakistan and give some background on that. But this is all all of our problems are orchestrated by this international banking cartel.
Yeah.
And the deep state, the CIA, MI6, Mossad are their warriors and how they execute all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then the US military are the is the muscle behind all of it. That the
Yeah.
American taxpayer is paying for all this dysfunction and war and like to benefit the bankers.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And who's at the head of the banking cartel but the Rothschild family, you know?
Yep. The Rothschild,
The Morgan family, the
PJ,
Rothschild family,
Biggie,
the
the Carnegies.
Rockefellers, the Carnegies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Bilderbergs.
yeah. So, you know,
Yeah.
it's the all to benefit the World Economic Forum, you know,
Right.
and
Give me 1 second. I'm gonna check on my dog real quick.
okay, yeah,
Okay, I'll be right back. Hold on.
sure.
Sorry for that brief intermission.
No, you're good.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But like I was saying, man, I was blown away, man. I was thinking about you. I said, man, Brother Greg was right, man, with them diseases.
Yeah.
I saw it on your website, but when I got in that office, that was just like confirmation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And we need confirmations to really get to the truth. We need discernment and confirmations because we've just got so many lies out there. But like the 220 medical conditions and mental health conditions and addictions that I have listed that are due to parasites, largely due to
Yep.
parasites on the website. That's just the beginning. But if I were to put every single condition that had a parasitic cause on the website, people would stop listening to me because they were like, well, parasite can be the cause of every disease. So I kind of just like left it there at that 220 number. But you know, let other people. I just want, and people need to get on the trail of parasites are the cause of disease, and many of us aren't getting sick naturally, organically. We're being intentionally infected, not just through our food and our water, but actually from free living, invisible, visually elusive parasites that crawl up onto our feet and then go up into our mouths, our nostrils, our ears, and down there, you know, into
Yeah.
our eyes and stuff. They're the cause of dental issues. They're the
Yeah.
cause of vision issues. They're the cause of gastrointestinal issues. They're the cause of neurological issues. They're the cause of mental
You
illness.
can turn it off. Yep. Right.
So yeah, it's just yeah. Um, everything's been orchestrated.
Yeah. Yep.
It's so evil, man.
You just gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. And we just got you gonna have to pray hard because that stuff you got on the
I,
website,
I,
it's on point, brother. Somebody might get upset about that.
oh no, hey, trust me, Manny. They're. God's keeping me alive for a reason, man, to
Yeah,
share this
absolutely.
testimony and spread this word because there have been countless attempts on both my life and my sanity, but yet here I stand. I'm laughing, right?
Yeah,
Somehow,
absolutely.
some way, right? I'm smiling,
Yeah,
and even though I'm missing a tooth from all this bullshit,
yeah, that's
I'm
fine.
like,
That's fine. But you speaking the
it's.
truth, and
I am.
yeah, you speaking.
And God's not going to punish truth tellers. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that, you know.
yeah.
And
But they people,
I'll return all these evil people their evil back to them, you know?
yeah,
Like
and they assume people like you are crazy, or people like me crazy,
oh yeah.
and everybody else that's a part of the community.
Once you become aware of this stuff, then they'll just label you as delusional or crazy or schizophrenic or whatever, and so that nobody listens to you anymore, you
Yep,
know. And that's it's all again all by design, all by design,
absolutely.
and
And
it's yeah.
they putting I heard that Whole Foods bought not Whole Foods is it Walmart? It's either Walmart or one of them big chains. Might be Walmart bought what is it? What's that? Whole Foods.
No, no, no. Amazon owns Whole
Amazon.
Foods.
Amazon bought Whole
Amazon
Foods.
owns that. Yeah, Jeff Bezos bought Whole Foods, and
That's crazy.
yeah, when I'm walking around the grocery stores today, when I go to like Albertsons, Safeway, Kroger type of place, depending where you are in the country, I see people that are overweight and tired and just barely getting through in life. But when I go to a place like Whole Foods,
Yeah,
I don't see that. I see that people are more fit and stuff. But if you notice the men in Whole Foods, I don't, what I've seen, they're much more effeminate than your
yeah,
standard man. Like they have like, they're kind of dainty. They're like wearing
yeah,
like pink tank tops and they're
yeah,
like, and I'm not saying that derogatorily. I'm just making an observation. And I have
yeah,
to wonder because they're eating a very soy heavy diet and soy is like really high in like estrogen and things like that. And that they're,
yeah.
where I think they need more animal protein in their diet because anyways, this is just an observation I
No, no,
made that I want to,
I believe you're right because I remember years ago back in the early '90s when I was in a foster care, well, in a group home. Uh, we had a lot of the kids, right, running
hmm
around with the male kids running around with breasts, and they
hmm
was on some medicine called Risperdal.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, they had,
risperidol.
yeah,
Risperidol is a nightmare antipsychotic that comes with catastrophic
yeah,
consequences.
and they had the younger guys had breasts. I
Yeah,
mean, like
yeah, yeah,
when I'm
yeah.
talking about,
They were lactating. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
It's slipping on the. I no, I've done research on this on these side
yeah.
effects.
And you know what's
Um,
crazy? They was making men lactate, right? With
yeah,
the
I know.
Risperdal and the Tegretol, right?
Hmm.
But then giving the women, what's the medicine so they don't get pregnant. So now they breast can't lactate.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
So
exactly. So it's a prolactin is what I'm looking for. It's
yeah,
it's it's the hormone that makes men lactate, and
yeah,
but they're doing the inverse to women. And
yeah,
so this is Satan's agenda.
yeah,
It's to morph the genders and the sexes, because who's Baal and Moloch is he's this transgender like devil
yeah.
god
A
that
hermaphrodite.
that's like half, yeah, like a hermaphrodite, and
Yeah,
that's what Bullock wants, and that's many of these like Hollywood stars and stuff. This is who they worship, and
yeah,
they've transitioned their kids intentionally as sacrifice to these devils
yeah.
and
Absolutely.
demons, and but this is what's happening on a large scale because but almost all these billionaires and elitists and these people, all of our political leaders and stuff, most
Yeah,
of them are satanic. And the Epstein files show that.
yeah.
And
Absolutely.
Diddy and all these other things show
And
that all these people are satanic, purely evil, and
yeah,
they worship a transgender God, and this is why they're pushing this transgender thing on us.
yeah,
But it's not just through culture, but through our food and stuff and our diet
yeah.
and our
Exactly.
medications that are pushing this transgender ideology.
Yeah, exactly. And that, yep, absolutely. I always tell my woman that this whole end time movement, this is the gay, this whole, no offense to anybody, but the whole homosexual thing is a part of the end time prophecy.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I,
Because
yeah,
if you can't produce, right? If they
well,
producing fruit with no seeds, right?
right.
And they trying to stop people from getting pregnant with the Margaret Sanger thing and effeminizing of men and
Yeah,
making
yeah.
women masculine, then
It's all part of the global depopulation agenda. While the elite, yeah, while the real puppet masters, if we continue down this road, there's only going to be one man standing that can procreate, right? And he will become a god, and who will be that man? But Satan himself, you
himself,
know.
yeah,
It's just like it's all for the destruction of humanity.
yeah.
It's
But
not, but I don't want to. like I am not homophobic
Oh yeah, neither
on
am I.
any fronts or anything like that. Like, man, it do your thing, but like sexuality should be a private thing, in my
Yeah,
opinion. As long as it's consensual and it's two adults or whatever, or whatever,
yeah,
then do your thing in your in the comfort
yeah,
of your own home. But just like all this overt sexuality and
yeah,
just like the declining birth rates and young women today not wanting to have children of their own, but they're open to like adopting because that would make them like see as like this virtue signaling that they're a great person because they're helping this adopted child when like the most beautiful gift that God's given us is for us to have our own children and to like
fruitful and multiply.
yes the children adopting is great but it's also just an incredible gift
Yeah,
to
but
have
it's
it
it's
because
the
that the only thing that we can live in this our lifespan in the cosmic scheme of things is a blink of an eye, 80 years or whatever versus billions of years, right?
yeah,
And so what we leave is like how do we when we end this world, like what do we leave? We leave our legacy. Did we make this world better than we found it or to
yeah,
do our best to? And our offspring, you
yeah.
know?
But
Um,
it's to stop. It's to stop God's creation because the scripture said, "Be fruitful and multiply."
yeah.
And and like I said, I'm not. I don't homosexual bash or nothing like that. And I don't. Whatever you do, you do. I feel the same way you feel, right? But it is going a part of this agenda. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying? Because if you're not being fruitful and multiplying, then you're doing the opposite.
Well,
But
I believe the Bible doesn't say anything specifically about women relationships, but it does speak specifically men to men. And
oh no,
again,
no,
I think this goes back to parasites because where our parasites pass most through fecal matter. How is
yeah.
fecal matter passed sexually? Through anal intercourse. Well, that doesn't happen to women and women. That happens man to
No,
man.
no, but it is a sin.
And the parasites are the demons, and
Yeah,
this so
but it
this
is
is
a sin.
transmitting demons.
It is a sin in the Bible, woman. The woman. I can't think of the scripture, but when I get it, I'm gonna send it to you.
Okay.
There's a scripture about the lady was standing in the field, and I believe the lady dress had blew up, and she was gazing like gazing at the woman, and it became a sin or something
Yeah.
like that because she was looking at her in a lustful way. You get what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah,
definitely a sin.
I'm not familiar with it,
Yeah,
but I mean, like,
but I'll send it to you though. But
okay.
one more thing I wanted to say. I didn't mean to cut you off. One more thing I wanted to say before I forget about it. When
Yeah.
I was looking into the CERN thing, right?
Yeah.
And I found this guy who was talking about the CERN machine that's over in Switzerland. You familiar with it?
I'm very, yeah.
Okay, so the 17-mile Hadron Collider, they digging under the ground, but they're taking the building blocks of what we made of, which is good matter, right?
Yep.
Which is light, and they shooting it towards dark matter under the ground at the speed of light. And I believe that's why they got a lot of these. Because if you look in the scripture, at that same scripture you was talking about, I think when Christ had passed the demons, cast the demons into the pig, right?
Right. Into the swine. Yeah.
He was saying that he asked him what the demon name was, and when the demon told him his name, he lost half his powers. But the demon said, "How did you get here?" Now, if you look in the Bible, in the first part around the introduction and all that, it says that Jesus Christ came here through the Virgin Mary, and he had to be wrapped in the flesh, right?
Yeah.
Through pure blood.
Yeah.
So apparently Satan and God had a deal that neither one can come here and pass on to this side of the realm, right? Like just like the spirit can't, like how could I put it? Like they're not able to walk the earth, whatever. But Christ used uh Murray to get here on this side. So Satan apparently felt as though that wasn't fair because he can't get over here, right? So I believe that that plays a part of that CERN thing. I That's why they got all these what's the blood banks, and when if you go do a major surgery or anything, if you read the fine print, it's in small right, and they say that they collect cells and tissues and DNA out of your body
Right.
once you're trying to do a surgery. So
Right.
I believe that they collecting these things. Also, the woman placenta, they collect that where the woman used to be able to take
Oh,
that home.
yeah,
And
yeah, and they're also collecting the dead fetuses of
yeah,
abortions and
exactly.
things like that. Yeah, it's
And I
pure
think that they
evil.
building Satan a body so he can get on this side. I
Yeah,
know it
yeah,
sounds
yeah,
nuts.
yeah. No, no, no. You're absolutely right.
Yeah,
And this is why we're on the verge of war with Iran. They need more bloodshed because they require blood sacrifices to their
yeah,
gods, to
yeah.
demons,
Yeah,
devils.
because if you watch
And
Transformers and stuff like that, all these movies and stuff is about this being coming from the other side and how they got always build this body or
yeah.
something like that for it to get to this other side. So that's why I believe that they collecting this type of stuff, you
No,
know.
they're
And,
absolutely doing all of this is everything going on today is orchestrated by these dark occultists who are
yeah,
just pure evil. They're pure
yeah,
evil. They rape and traffic children, they and women, and they like they sacrifice. It's just it's awful, man.
yeah. And shame on the people that sat back thinking that we live in this just one big utopia and
Yeah,
everything just good and nothing is wrong and
yeah,
all of that. You know, it's just crazy, man. And
yeah,
I'm also gonna send you a clip about the guy. He broke down the movie The Matrix, whatever, right? I
yeah.
mean, he broke that thing down real good.
I'm kind of maxed out on content, man. I've broken down the Matrix plenty already. You know,
Yeah,
I don't need that forwarded,
yeah,
I appreciate that. You know, unless if it's something breaking, like
yeah,
news, I've already gone down those rabbit holes.
yeah.
So um
Yeah. It's just I never heard it broken down like that before. How
yeah,
he did it with the numbers and all that,
yeah,
the 313, and it's just crazy. But I
yeah,
understand.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I've got limited like things right now. I gotta pick my
poison.
where I put pick my poison. Yeah, where I focus my attention and stuff too.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
but
But you know, I wanted to talk about the homeless issues and stuff. You know, you're intimately familiar with the homeless situation in Maryland, right?
yeah, yeah.
So what are you seeing? Like what are the common threads of the people on the streets today in Baltimore and in your state?
Yeah. You say common threats.
Yeah, threads. Like what's brought people out in the streets? What keeps people in the streets?
Okay, so what keep people a lot what I've learned is that what keeps them in the streets. Okay, for instance, a couple people that I interviewed, or a lot of people that I interviewed, most of them come from two family homes, and
Really?
yeah, absolutely. With most of their parents either work hardworking people, and they start taking antidepressants and stuff like that when they
Hmm.
parents divorce or something like that. And then
Hmm.
once they start taking the antidepressants, then next thing you know, it go from weed and Xanax and lorazepam and clonidines and stuff like that to trying harder drugs.
Yeah.
And then once they start doing that, here in the city, the drugs are cheaper. So in the county, say like a pill of heroin in the county, and you can probably charge one of them people out there 20 to 25
Twice.
bucks
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
But then you come in the city, they can get it for $2, $3.
Right.
So then they might start coming up here buying the drugs and see that it's cheaper, and
Yeah.
then they get stuck.
Yeah.
So I seen instances of that happening, and then I've seen other instances where people would be at home and they be getting touched or molested and raped
Right.
by a sibling, and
Yeah.
they run away and they run into
Step
the
parent,
arms.
sibling, somebody, yeah,
Yep,
or you know,
yep,
somebody
and
in
they
the
run into the
community.
arms. Yep,
Yeah.
especially one lady I talked to. She was getting raped and molested by her stepfather,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
she ran away, and then she fell into the arms of a guy that was a dealer,
Yeah.
and one time he left out and he left the drugs there, and she tried it, and before you know it, she got hooked on it,
Yeah.
and then one thing led to another. But she had her baby had died,
Yeah.
and that really like pushed her over the edge, you
Yeah, yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah,
that
yeah.
happened, and I got a story real
So
quick.
basically, like, well, to recap, so basically, people from a young age are being prescribed drugs because they're told that they're sick or bad or whatever, and they need to
Yeah,
take all these pills to feel
yeah,
better. So basically, the system's programming them that they need to take drugs to feel better. So then these pharmaceuticals are gateway drugs to street drugs, basically.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
sexual abuse is just rampant in this country, although it's rarely talked about. It's so taboo. And so
Yeah,
and people are coming from these broken homes. They have all this childhood trauma and that never gets dealt with by our mental health industry or
yep,
whatever. And then all it takes is one big thing to push somebody over the edge where now they have all this trauma. They've been trained to believe that drugs are the only way that they can cope, and they get next thing you know they're hooked on street drugs.
yeah. But you know, another thing I also knew a lot of stories too, where I've heard where some of these when they teenagers they get these antidepressants, right?
Yeah,
And when they run out of a prescription or something like that, then you know they run to the streets or the doctors will just cut them off, but they already addicted.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you know, so if you ask too many questions or whatnot, you know these doctors become like jerks and shit like that. They know
Oh,
once they
they're
got after
yeah.
they got you good and hooked,
Oh no,
then they
yeah,
cut you
they'll
off.
get you hooked on benzodiazepines, but if you start giving them any
Lip,
irritation, any lip, they'll cut you off from those benzos. And but you
yeah,
now you're addicted to them, and you need them because
yeah.
you can die from the withdrawal from benzodiazepines.
Yeah, but you know what's crazy? The kids that get addicted to it, and when they get cut off and they ain't got their medicine, their parents not even looking at it as they being addicted to the drug.
Right.
They say that, oh, his panic attacks is getting worse.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
he's going
No,
through
it's withdrawal.
withdrawals.
Withdrawal.
Yeah,
The
and
withdrawal from antidepressants is horrific, but it won't kill you, but
yeah,
it's horrific. And it'll
yeah,
force you to want to self-medicate and stuff. And like, but the withdrawal from benzodiazepines will kill you. And
yeah,
then there's like the withdrawal from the prescribed opiates or the
yeah,
withdrawal from Adderall. Adderall is highly addictive. It's not
yeah,
much different from meth. It really
yeah,
isn't.
yeah,
It's pretty much the same thing as meth.
yeah,
And it's just like so, and all these parents think that they're doing the right thing, getting their kids on Adderall so they can be better classroom learners and not be so hyperactive
yeah,
when all of this is either just normal childhood stuff, a boy being a boy,
yeah.
or their inattention is due to our poison food supply or parasites.
Yeah, and it's a you be amazed at how many people OD up here. Or it's this my cousin ex girlfriend.
Yeah,
She was you know she was a very beautiful young lady, whatever, right?
yeah,
And she ended up you know going to Shepherd Pratt. You heard of Shepherd Pratt? No, you
no,
didn't, probably didn't. But Shepherd Pratt up here is a place where children that have bad behavior or they have psych problems, right?
hmm
They send them there. So it's basically like a quote unquote crazy home for
right,
the
for
youth.
kids, juvenile,
Yes,
yeah,
yeah. So she
psychiatric
was
facility,
there.
yeah,
Yep, she was there. She got hooked on uh antidepressants and stuff like that. And when she
yeah,
got out, she started using in the streets. And
yeah,
she started hanging with this older guy, which the older guy really cared about her and stuff like that. He was like a father figure to her. And
yeah,
he would look after her. But one day I have him come clean up my backyard, whatever, and he's cleaning up and he was telling me like, you know, I don't have to be out here like this, right? And I'm asking him why you say that? And he showed me he was actually a surgeon at John Hopkins.
yeah,
But yeah, but he started partying on the weekends and stuff like that, and started cheating on his wife, and she put him out, and then he started getting high real bad, and he just kind of went all the way down, and he hooked up with the girl, the young girl. Her name was Brittany. I can say her name. She's no longer living now. Uh, and he hooked up with her, and he was like a father figure. So they had this like codependency on each other. So
Right.
he like looked at her as his daughter because he had his own daughter home with his wife, but the wife wasn't allowing him to see the daughter because his condition, whatever. And she was missing her father that passed away. So they kind of had this codependency relationship, but they both got high. You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So lo and behold, after I talked to him out back and told him he need to get his family back and get himself together and stuff like that, and I prayed with him, and he disappeared. I never seen him again. And then
Hmm.
all of a sudden one day, I decided to call the number, and he picked up, and he's actually in rehab. He got himself together and stuff
Good
like
for
that.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he he last I heard he was going to get back with his wife. His wife was going to give him another chance. But I had to break the news to him that Brittany ended up being found dead inside of the vacant house, like under. She was under the projects.
Right.
Okay, so we got the project buildings, right? But then we got like under the ground.
Tunnels.
Yeah, the tunnel. Yeah,
Yeah.
underground is where the wire and the pipe
Hmm.
stuff like that. Well,
Yeah.
people would sleep under that. They found her under there, dead.
Yeah. In a basement or a tunnel?
No, it's not even a basement. It's not even a tunnel. It's like okay, you got the houses and then
Yeah.
you got the level ground, right? But
Yeah.
then you got these like storm doors
Yeah.
where you can go in the storm doors and go
Yeah.
under, and that's
Yeah.
where like all the piping and wiring
Gotcha.
through
Gotcha.
the whole
Yeah.
project. And she
Yeah.
was basically
Yeah.
down there, and the rats done was eating at her and stuff
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was young too, man. She was only I'd say Brittany was about 27, 28.
Wow.
But you know what's crazy? She was one of the prettiest females in the neighborhood down there,
Hmm.
whatever. And she used to be
Hmm.
my little cousin girlfriend.
Yeah.
And she just went through a whole lot because I remember when she was 19, 18 or 19, she
Yeah.
had a pimp. And a
Yeah.
pimp guy used to pimp her out, whatever, and stuff like that. And one day he wanted to she got tired of giving him all her money.
Yeah.
And like this is my body. If I'm going to use it, then I should be able to keep majority of the money and you get less.
Yeah.
He wasn't going for that, so he smacked her up, and she ended up killing him right on camera. But she ended up getting out of the they let her out of it for self defense though.
Yeah.
But she killed him
Wow.
in broad daylight, like
See,
right under the
see,
camera.
see, all this breaks my heart, man. But
Yeah,
this is this type of culture, these types
yeah,
of issues are all top-down problems. These are all constructed by our government and the elite.
yeah,
That the reason why a young woman like this with so much promise has to hook herself and or gets addicted to drugs and the wrong people. All of this has been orchestrated. All of this is
yeah.
it's so evil, man.
And she was
It's
homeless. She was
yeah,
homeless for a long
yeah,
time. Brittany been homeless since she been like, I don't know, maybe like 14 or 15. She been out there, and she used to get in fights all the time, right? But all the older women used to fight her and stuff like that because she looked it better than them.
yeah,
And they had been out there for 15, 20 years, and
yeah,
they all
yeah.
warned out them guys don't want them.
Yeah,
They
yeah, of
want
course
this
not.
young girl that
Sure.
looked like something, and she used to get in fights all the time. So every once in a blue moon, we would see Brittany walking up the street. She'd have a black eye
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something like that, and or her shirts be ripped off. We done seen her walking outside butterball naked, where the women done ripped her clothes off, and
yeah,
ripped her naked
yeah,
to humiliate her to try to run off the block.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a lot, man. I seen so
yeah,
many of them die. So many of them die.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Through
Yeah,
through tons of different, not just through overdose, but through like
yeah,
murder
yes.
and like and all this other stuff,
Oh man,
man.
I got
Yeah,
a story for you.
yeah.
It was this lady that was homeless, whatever, right? It was
Hmm.
like I must have been like 25 or 26 or something like that. But the
Hmm.
lady, she was an addict, but she was homeless, and it was real cold. She had did some heroin, and she was went to set on somebody's front to try to block the wind, whatever, right?
Yeah,
We went to sleep, woke up, came out the next day. She was frozen solid in that
yeah,
position.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Those are
The
solid.
weather will do it, and that's when I was on the streets, man. Winter scared the crap out of me.
Yeah,
It's yeah, it's tragic, man, because all of these problems should never have happened if we had real leadership and we weren't run by Satanists and controlled by satanic evil people. Then
yeah. And I
it's
when I used to be years ago when I was younger, uh my family I've been in a lot of group homes and stuff like that. And
yeah.
I used to be a drug dealer, little corner boy back in the day. And
Hmm.
so I used to stay in the vacant houses with the homeless people, right?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, man, some of these people are the smartest people.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The
Clever,
smartest
clever,
people.
clever.
Listen,
Yeah.
I was in a we was in a house, and we didn't have they used to make the electricity, they used to turn the
Hmm.
electricity on,
Hmm.
turn the hot water on and stuff like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
And vacant houses that been vacant for years.
Yeah.
Don't know how they do it. And I would see them take like a piece of lead pencil, right?
Yeah.
And twist toilet paper around it, and they would stick it in a socket,
Yeah.
and to get a light so we can light out cigarettes or
Yeah.
they can
Yeah.
smoke they crack and
Yeah.
stuff in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yep, I done seen some of
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
craziest stuff
totally.
out there.
And I'm sure you've run into a lot of like really good artists too out there on the
Oh
street.
yeah,
And like,
yeah,
yeah,
oh
it's just
yeah,
like, it's yeah.
yeah. I
Um,
seen people that know how to play guitars,
yeah.
people that know how to play piano.
Yeah.
Uh, oh
There's
man,
there's there's so much talent going to waste it breaks my heart, man.
yeah, yeah, it is a lot of
There
stuff.
there
Yeah,
are
a
a
lot of
lot
people.
of there are a lot of people with great souls suffering and but the system doesn't offer them a path to healing. It doesn't offer
Yeah,
them a path to effectively deal with their trauma, to deal with their infections, to deal with their chronic illness, to deal with their addictions. And instead it just keeps them down
yeah.
and until they die.
Yep, I done had some of the my connection with them because me coming up in the streets and stuff like that, my family like turning their back on me.
Yeah.
I had these are the people that I had as
Yeah.
family, so I kind of grew up. I done met guys that was a guy named Drake. I don't know if he's still living or not, but if he is, he probably old. He a lawyer.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? A
Hmm.
lawyer got like a damn 8 bedroom house, a whole family, but he out there with us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's real smart.
Yeah.
I done I done seen people, yeah, a lot of smart people, but I
All
also
walks of
seen some
life.
crazy stuff. Like I done seen people where they done blew out all their veins from
Hmm.
shooting the needles,
Hmm.
and they was
Hmm.
shooting their private area,
Oh yeah.
shooting their big.
I was hanging out with this guy. He would just shoot up in his. I would be driving. He'd be in the front seat or whatever,
Yeah,
passenger seat, and he would just shoot up in his neck or
yeah,
whatever in the parking lot of a gas station outside
yeah,
the convenience store. People would come out the car, out of their car, and they'd see him just slamming into his neck, and
yeah,
they'd be like, "What?" And I'm just like, I got no control over this guy. Like
yeah.
I'm like, but this is how desperate. This is just how crazy things have
Yeah, I
become.
seen people shoot and they big under the nail of their big toe.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
like, that's
yeah.
crazy. I would never do nothing like that.
People, dudes shoot
Yeah,
down there, you know.
yeah. Oh yeah, I seen it. I seen it
Yeah, yeah,
done.
because it's a clear vein, you know.
Yeah,
But all their veins are just falling apart. It's
yeah,
just,
broken and busted all up. Um, yeah, man, I seen some crazy stuff. Like one of the guys that I interviewed on my channel, he's sitting down because he done walked and he done had his socks on, and
hmm.
the fentanyl he using have xylazine with it, right?
Hmm.
And he's walked so much that if he take his socks is literally like glued to his
Yeah, to
feet.
his feet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
he
yeah,
is no more skin under there. It's just
yeah,
flesh,
yeah,
and it's pussy, and it done
yeah.
got hardened to the yeah, and he still get man. He
And
won't
and
get up
and
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 walk
and and
unless
and, and, and none of these people can go to the hospital to get these things addressed because the hospital looks down on them, it blames them, and
yeah.
the hospital when I was must have been 2021 or so. I was hanging out with a bunch of homeless people. I had an apartment and I was helping them out and stuff, but they would get infections and they would be at risk at losing like their arm and stuff, but they refused to go to the doctors because of all the discrimination homeless get from the medical
Yeah,
community. And
yeah,
so, but I was on like this heavy dose of antibiotics that I was
just
taking, and so they would like get antibiotics for me to treat their infections because, but they were too afraid to go to doctors because
yeah,
of
yeah,
all the discrimination. But the fucked up thing is that these people are all victims of our medical community, and then the medical community looks down, spits in their faces and
yeah,
doesn't help them. Like it doesn't deal with their any of their medical issues, their mental health issues,
yeah.
their economic. The system is just so broken.
Absolutely, absolutely. You ain't lying about that, man. It's so much stuff out there. I just be blown away.
How many people have you known that have been on the streets for more than a year that have lifted themselves up out and now are stable and healthy?
I know the doctor. That's
Yeah,
one. It was this family. It was a guy. His name TJ
yeah,
and his wife Maria. They had I think 6 kids,
uh-huh.
and they was homeless on the streets.
Yeah.
They end up getting a place. Uh, so that's the doctor, Tyler Maria.
Not many. So
Yeah,
just a handful out of like
yeah.
countless
It's not that
people you've
many.
known. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely not that
it's
many.
because there isn't a clear path. I mean, obviously the doctor knew people who have money and influence and
Yeah,
resources, whereas the average person on the streets doesn't have those things either,
but
and it's just
you know what a harsh reality is, brother Greg? This is something that I know to be a fact. Uh, most people that do become homeless down here in the city,
hmm
especially if they get high, most of the
hmm
time they don't even make it out alive.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
It's a death sentence.
yeah, it really is.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, yeah, but
And they're the victims of society. They aren't the, yeah, a lot of them once the society's made them so sick and desperate, yeah, then they'll act out and do some stupid crimes like a lot of shoplifting and stuff,
yeah,
but it's the system created them.
yeah,
They taught them at a young age to take drugs to deal with their problems, but the
yeah,
drugs never solved anything. And then now, like, yeah,
yeah. And a,
yeah.
and and a lot of kids and that's why I believe we shouldn't even have no school system. I believe that the parents should be the teachers
I,
because
I, I,
when
I would love that. I would love for one parent to go back to homeschooling and stuff
yeah,
where the parent, one parent spends full time raising the children
yeah,
and teaching the
yeah,
children, but rather than the government, because the
yeah,
government
exactly.
doesn't care about the children.
Yeah, because look, and that's what I did with my kids. I homeschooled them, right? But here's the
Hmm.
thing, though, uh, because when they in that school and the kids get to acting up and stuff like that,
Yeah.
they not acting up because something mentally wrong with them. It's
Yeah.
because you making them sit down for 8 hours, and
When they're kids,
I gotta ask you, could I use the bathroom when
right.
that's a natural human thing? I
Wait,
should
wait.
just be able to get up and go.
What's an 8-year-old boy supposed to do? But he's supposed to be active,
Yeah,
and you're gonna
exactly.
punish him because he can't sit there and it's
Yeah,
like behind his desk or whatever, staring there for like 8 hours. Like, of
yeah.
course not. He's a boy.
Exactly. And that's why they know, listen, and that's why they gotta give recess to stop them from blowing the lid.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
and there's less and less physical activity integrated in schools today, and
yeah,
that's we need the opposite. We need more physical activity for the
yeah.
children.
But that's why, yep, that's why they give them recess for 30 minutes. Notice, you
Yeah.
get recess for 30 minutes at school, you get a lunch break for 30 minutes at work. You
Yeah.
get what I'm saying?
Oh
And you
yeah, yeah,
get
yeah. It's just to program
even
us
in
and get
jail,
us trained to the bell and
yep,
times and like yeah.
Yep,
and
same thing in
keeping us in
jail.
line and going to the principal's office, going to your boss's office,
Yep,
getting rid up, get it. Yeah,
yep,
it's
exactly.
this is yeah. Thank you, John D. Rockefeller, for screwing everything up.
Right,
You
and
know?
and the same thing, like I was saying with jail too. They gotta let the inmates out for at least 1 hour because if
Mhm.
not, all of them will go crazy.
Yeah,
And and the thing about it is, this is how much control they got over us. You can be over the Baltimore City Jail,
yeah,
and it can be one guard and
yeah.
300 men there.
Really?
And you at sometimes at night it might be just be one guard on a certain section,
Yeah,
or let's just say at max three. So you
yeah.
got three guards max telling 300 men what to
Right,
do.
right,
And at any given time, those 300 men can just tear that place up and leave.
right.
You get what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
that's how much control they got over us, and they instill fear in us so much that we will take it. You get what I'm saying?
yeah,
Because you got 7 billion people in the world, but then you got a handful of people that's telling them what to do. It's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it is everything's crazy today, and we need change. We need new leadership. We the thing is that all of these problems, when we properly identify what's the cause of all these problems, then we can solve all of these problems and we
Yeah,
can heal the world and we can live in harmony. We can, and it's just we need to get these satanic pedophiles out of power.
yeah,
You
exactly,
know,
absolutely. That's what it
it's as
boils
simple
down
as
to.
that, man.
That's what it
And
boils down
we
to.
need good people in calling the shots. So,
I know you heard of that Pizza Gate.
oh yeah,
Yeah, the what's the also the
the
yeah, and it's
jerky,
crazy.
yeah.
You notice how a lot of people don't talk about this. A lot of homeless people be coming up missing too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
tons. Likely for organ harvesting and stuff, or
yeah,
psychological or medical experiments, or
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Exactly. I know this guy, right? This guy. Well, I ain't gonna say this guy. He actually related to my peoples. Uh,
hmm
he used to do studies and stuff like that, right?
hmm
So one week after he did a study, uh, after he left from the facility at John Hopkins, he just
yeah,
went and jumped off a bridge.
mm,
Absolutely no explanation other than he just came from that place.
right.
But I wonder what they put up in him. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
no, I get what
Yeah,
you're saying.
yeah.
No, they do some
You
evil
know they get,
things.
they pay good money down here for them researchers.
Oh,
They
of
pay
course.
6,000, 10,000 dollars,
Yeah.
12, 15,000.
Well,
But at what
yeah,
cost?
yeah, exactly. At what cost? At what
Yeah,
cost?
yeah,
Basically your life or your sanity.
yeah, exactly. And it's
Uh,
it's wild, man. But we go when this summer, spring and summer coming up. I got some big things I'm gonna be trying to do for the homeless, whatever, and stuff like that. My
yeah,
plan is to get a building and maybe try to start acupuncture and holistic healing and
yeah,
stuff like that with homeless people.
yeah.
To
That's
get them
great.
off the streets.
That's great. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
help them eat a healthier diet
yeah, all of that.
and
Yep,
yeah, all these things
yeah,
you
yep.
know,
And maybe they can reunite with their family and be
yeah.
humanized again,
To
looked
be
at as human.
humanized, be treated like human beings,
Yeah,
and help them deal with their trauma
yeah.
effectively, and it just like
We're gonna
yeah.
be ready. Yeah.
But all of these people on the streets, they're all infected with so many parasites,
Oh, I
so
know.
many.
Uh,
So you heal the parasites, you heal the trauma, and these people can they're not
yeah.
yeah they can heal. We
Yeah,
can
and
heal.
you know what? And I'm glad you spoke of that because I'm supposed to be doing a follow-up interview with the guy named Ryan, right?
Yeah,
And he was telling me because I told him about my parasite situation, and he said that he believed he got him right
yeah,
because under the jaw, like under the neck,
yeah.
when the cows
Lymph
get
nodes and
swollen
stuff.
under
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
yeah,
lymph nodes. Yeah,
it's is an indication that they got flukes or
yeah,
parasites,
yeah.
and he had that same thing going on. And he was telling me about I don't the game. I don't know if it's Black Ops or some Splinter Cell, and he was talking about how on the game Splinter Cell how the people be having parasites and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I forget the conversation we was having, but it was pretty deep though.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, but he's homeless and he believe he got parasites. And I
Oh,
told him he
it
most
does.
likely do.
If you go use a porta potty where homeless people hang out, it's nothing but diarrhea and just worms and stuff in the bottom of the porta potty.
Oh
It's
yeah, he know.
they're all hugely infested with these things.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I told him, I said, man, you most likely got parasites. And then his hands are swollen right here and
Mm-hmm.
puffy and the
Mm-hmm.
sores and stuff like that. I
Yeah.
said that most likely might be staph
Inflammation,
infection. Yeah.
parasites. Yeah,
Inflammation,
it's
staph, infection, parasites, all of that. But I
yeah.
know he probably got them.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
You know, everybody needs to be common knowledge
yeah,
because, you know, once it's common knowledge, we can start solving the problems, you know?
right. Uh-huh. And then hopefully you know, I would like to get into that like far as the homeless, but I also the the doctor, whatever, I was asking him because he said he's gonna be retiring soon because he been doing this for years.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
told him maybe I can come in under you under apprenticeship or something, you know?
yeah. That would be cool.
Yeah,
That'd be
and
cool.
then learn because
Do some sort of that'd be fantastic, you know?
yeah. So how I'm doing it is I take the herbs
Yeah,
for 3 weeks,
yeah,
right? Then take a week off
yeah,
and then start it again for another a week after that, and
hmm,
you know until it's done.
yeah,
And then I got some other one that I just take every day into the until it's gone.
right.
Yeah, and then he
Well,
said after that it'd be cured, it'd be gone, no eggs, no larvae, no adult worms, everything will be
until you're
gone.
reinfected, we need
Yeah,
to
yeah.
deworm a couple
Oh
times a
yeah, yeah, yeah,
year.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
Oh
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But
he definitely said follow up, every 3, 6 months or whatever,
yeah,
however I decide to do it,
yeah.
because it's in the food. Like we
No.
said, we're intentionally being infected. So yeah. But at least I'll be able to get my energy back, my strength back, get rid of the brain fog. That'll be
Mm-hmm.
beautiful.
Mm-hmm. It will be
Yep.
beautiful.
Yeah, yep. You know.
Manny, I'm at the library and they're closing down for the day, but
Okay.
thank you for coming back on again, my man. And
Okay.
I wish you all the best in your healing journey and then being an inspiration and helping other people heal because that's what we need to do. People like you and I need to overcome our illnesses and addictions and show other people a path of true healing.
Yeah, yep. I appreciate it. And thank you for everything. And I just want to tell everybody to go to his website. Uh, hold on. Let me think about it. I always get them mixed up. Not that kind of crazy.com, and check out that parasite list because I bear witness that what he's saying on there is the truth. I saw it at the holistic doctor, and Mr. Greg is right. He's absolutely right. I
I,
have parasites, and mine's been diagnosed as a chronic illness. That's not the truth. It's a parasite. You want to find out the truth? Go to his channel, I mean his page, his website, and you'll get the truth.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yep,
I offer so much information, all for free. No trackers, no ads, and all
yep,
this great information on how to naturally heal from parasitic infections and such.
exactly. And one more thing, and
Yeah,
if anybody want to see any content on homeless, I got a homeless channel where I do interviews with homelessness and people that have addiction. You
great.
can see their stories.
In the description, I will definitely link your channel on YouTube and stuff.
Yes.
And it's always a pleasure, Manny.
Yeah, I appreciate you, brother Greg.
I appreciate you, my man.
Okay. All
All
right.
right, man. Peace.
Peace.